Welcome to another
Plants in Media.
In the last video I'd said this one would be a doozy. I didn't mean to lie, but this is not the video that I had planned, and by contrast is pretty short and simple. But about 16 minutes into the 2009 stop-motion film Fantastic Mr. Fox, there is a subtle but present Venus flytrap. Let's watch.
Magnesium? Magnesium.
Sorry.
Pipette? Pipette!
Oh, sorry.
It's not here yet. When the camera dollies to the right, it's in the bottom left there.
Your cousin's such a wet sandwich.
I beg your pardon?
It's so cute.
That means I didn't understand.
Such a great little puppet.
Yeah, a wet sandwich. He's too short. He dresses like a girl. He's different.
Are you a bully?
But it looks like it's potted in stacked bonsai pots. Rude. He messed with the fly trap. It actually like reacts to the explosion.
Oh.
But yeah, that's it. It's just for like one shot in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. So now we'll move on to some. To finish my comment on bonsai pots that are typically meant for like miniature trees that are being trained and grown in an elegant, beautiful way over time. A fly trap in bonsai pots, even stacked, it's interesting, but it is unusual. Fly traps have a pretty substantial root system. It starts underneath with all of the leaves connect to a rhizome, like a bulb. And that's already a couple inches under the surface of the soil. And then beneath that, there's black-brown roots that go even further. Like they could go, 7, 8, 9 inches down into the soil. So this doesn't look like there would be enough space for the roots, but I still like the idea. It's really pretty and cute. I might try it sometime, but I don't have the supplies with me. And it being November, our fly traps are about to go dormant, so it wouldn't be the best time to try something experimental. The bottom bonsai pot, it appears to be full of pebbles, which probably means a drainage layer for water, but it can also create kind of a microclimate of humidity, which fly traps like. Fly traps do like good humidity. And then there's the light, or lack thereof. This fly trap could not feasibly grow on that school table. There's negligible light coming from like the fluorescence on the ceiling, but this is nowhere near a window. It's not near a grow light. Unfortunately, this plant would die there long term. Fly traps like way more light than you might think. Contrary to pervasive popular belief, fly traps do not grow in dim, dark jungles. They don't grow in jungles at all. They grow in North America in a very limited range of North and South Carolina near the coast. I've seen them growing introduced in the wild in Washington state, up near the Canadian border, and they survive. They are used to a cold, frosty, if not snowy, period in the winter. And in addition, and going back to my comments about light, they are used to growing in almost full to full sun. So they like it wet and really sunny. That's typically a really good recipe for Venus flytraps. And unfortunately, most plants in movies and shows are placed unrealistically for the sake of visuals. They aren't grown there. Like, this isn't even a real plant, and I know that I'm getting carried away with all these comments about how it would be grown, and this is a great addition. I'm happy it's here. But if that were a real fly trap in a classroom on a desk, it would be very sad and probably ultimately die. There's a stretchy kitty, being my filmy buddy. I will try to get a shot of her if she doesn't move before I wrap up. Anyway, the fly trap in this movie is also surprisingly upright. Most are not typically that erect and have their traps closer to the soil level. This kind of makes me think of, it's almost like a combination of the cultivars King Henry and Dente, which I think were both registered at the point of this filming. I know Dente was. King Henry might have been coming along around this time, which was the late 2000s. Like, there are some B-52s that I've seen that look like this, B-52 Flytraps, but I'm not an expert on cultivars. There are hundreds of flytrap cultivars. You could spend your life just collecting flytrap cultivars. The new Carnivorous Plant newsletter from the International Carnivorous Plant Society, there's like 6 new, beautiful new flytrap cultivars. They're not in North America. I believe they were registered in Italy, so getting them would be difficult. But still, you could spend your life collecting flytrap cultivars. So yeah, if you know more about flytrap cultivars, I'm curious what you think this one looks like. I wonder what the puppet makers might have modeled it after, and I call it a puppet because it does move, even if it's slight. There's some movement, especially when the one character puts the magnesium in and it explodes. The flytrap does move. So it would be really cool if one of the traps at least shut. I didn't actually see that happen. But it is a beautiful, beautiful little puppet, and I really hope that one of the animators or somebody involved in the making of this movie was able to take it home, and it's still there, adorning some shelf, being adorable and cute. And a little deadly. But those are my comments for the Venus Flytrap in 2009's Fantastic Mr. Fox. I first saw this in theaters with my older brother in 2009. I had just moved to LA. He was living in Orange County, and we went up to, I believe, the ArcLight with the Cinerama Dome on Sunset Boulevard that, to the best of my knowledge, has been closed since 2021 due to the pandemic. So that was kind of a sobering thing to learn. But yeah, so I watched this at a very, very influential, pivotal, impressionable, important, formative time in my life. And I really appreciate that it's, 16 years later, and even though I'm not a successful filmmaker in Hollywood, I still love this movie. It's a great, great November, fall, harvest time film. I don't watch it every year, but I do really like to watch it around November. It is one of my kind of go-to comfort movies. I relate to a lot of the characters in it. I love the aesthetic and the tone and the textures, and just how autumnal it is. Yeah, it's a really, really beautiful film. And it's one of my favorite stop motion films, if not my favorite stop motion film. The thing that I appreciate the most about this that may push it over into favorite past other fantastic and very nostalgic stop motion films like Nightmare Before Christmas is that even in Nightmare Before Christmas, there's like 2D animation and smoke and fog effects. In Fantastic Mr. Fox, everything, pretty much everything, is animated in camera, including really, really difficult effects like smoke, fire, and water. Like, I love that they use things like cotton balls and stuff like that, or pillow stuffing, cushion stuffing to make the smoke effects. So that's one of the things. Like, just this movie is so textured and tangible. Every single frame is just beautiful to look at, and in that way, it just might push it past things like Nightmare Before Christmas with some added visual effects, or Coraline with added visual effects. I respect the effects work, but I like this. Like, I grew up on some stop motion like TV specials and things like Frog and Toad. There's some really weird ones that I'm forgetting even the name of, but even Wes Anderson comments on like wanting the hair and fur movement from the animators touching it all the way back from like King Kong in 1933. So just to have that appreciation and that history for the stop motion, and then to have and want to bring all of that in, and have those slight imperfections. Like, some people don't like the hair movement from the animator's hands touching it, but personally I do. In an era of computer graphics, computer animation, and then also an era of AI generated things, let's make this more. And I accept that there's Isle of Dogs, which is also a great stop motion film. But Fantastic Mr. Fox for me it really might be my favorite. So, anyway, old Bramble, thank you. Thank you for attending my TED Talk / film school. But yeah, if you have never watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, I do highly recommend it, especially this time of year for November, that harvest time, end of autumn, crispy, crackly leaf season. It's a very warm, cozy film with endless little details, like a little fly trap. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm Howard with Brambles Botanicals, and I hope that you have a very happy and healthy harvest season, and keep being different. Adios. My light just died. Well, that's not good. Okay, let's try that again. Bonsai pots, like for little, little trees. Typically, like how they're. Yeah. But around. Now there's sirens going. I'm gonna cut.